and I'm hoping I can turn the camera around and show you all really quick because they said it was going to rain and the breeze feels good. That we are, it's an overcast. It was supposed to be like 50%. But I wanted to share with you all because I'm super excited because we're starting to get some of our items delivered. And I'm just going to show you all some of the garden items that we're getting. I'm supposed to be in there unpacking, but I told y'all I'm one to like really, really take breaks. And I was like, let me take a break, share with y'all because I'm excited. When I start seeing my planters and my pots starting to get delivered, like I don't know, my brain just start working like, where am I going to put it? So I just want to show you a couple of things because I'm not sure, due to the fact that this driveway is kind of on a slope. Let me see if I can turn the camera around. Thank you all so much for this impromptu, kind of like the impromptu, yeah, here we go. So we're getting so it's supposed to be 3 trucks. 2 trucks came today. I told y'all, if you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. I got a lot to tell y'all, but I gotta wait until they actually bring that third one before I start talking. Before I start talking. I just want to make sure all of the stuff is brought in before I start talking because I told y'all I'm going to tell you everything starting from February when we listed the house all the way up until now. It's been, the way I told Chris is I want this experience to be able to help somebody else, like if they ask me. But so they're bringing out some of the things here. Got my wheelbarrow, got my plant stand here. But what I was so confused about is these are my self-watering containers. So one's here and one is in the garage. I'm trying to figure out where do I want to put those at because I was thinking about putting them up. I'll show y'all in just a second. Up at the end of the driveway, but it's kind of like a down slope. And I wanted to do this because these are self-watering pots and I really love these because you really don't have to do too much watering. The only thing I do is when it's time to feed the plants, I will water that way. But as long as you put that water in there and this rain gauge keeps, it lets you know when it's time to fill it up, I'm good with that. Also got my rain barrel out of storage. I didn't get a chance to use this and I'm hoping all of the parts are here because I ordered this before, yeah, I ordered this before we were about to get ready to go, and it came, but it was in a box. But all of a sudden, when they brought it here, it was not in a box. So I'm telling y'all, if you ain't subscribed, just subscribe. These were the 2 planters. I gotta wash those up. Those were the 2 planters that were in the front. These are self-watering also, but they don't have that rain gauge did. And I'm gonna go up front because I think eventually, I really do feel like eventually over time, I'm going to get someone in here, like a landscape, I would say architect slash designer to make some new pathways and things like that. Because seriously, the front yard is like a blank canvas. These were some of the pots that I got on clearance right before I left, and I'm like, girl, what you gonna do with them pots? But I did say once we get the garden built right here, I can put different pots around. I'm down to maybe 2 people that I have contacted about building some raised beds. The price of wood is ridiculous, crazy. Chris and I went and priced it Sunday. It's outrageous because I wanted cedar beds. The cedar raised beds, and I wanted them at least 24 inches. But what I will tell you, hello, everyone that's joining in. I'm gonna try to look at the comments while you're coming in. But the price of wood has really, really increased. These are just some plants I've been picking up, and I'm glad I'm online because I picked up 2 more today. I gotta stop doing this, but I got a video coming out of this planter. But I just want to show you what all has like already. This is beautiful. It's like one of my favorite. This was the very first planter. So I'm just, y'all are getting a sneak peek, but I explained everything in that video that should be coming out really soon. But yeah, that was the first planter I planted up just to get some color going in. And one of the things that I did say, I know that, like I was telling my mom today, I said probably in about a month the the mornings will start getting a little bit cooler as we're going into fall. But if you ever want a drought tolerant workhorse plant, get you a vinca. It's hot pink. I know it looks red on here, but it is hot pink. Get you a vinca, and those do so well in the garden. So again, we got the movers here, 2 trucks out of 3. The third one is supposed to be coming Thursday. These were the plants from the apartment, y'all, and they took a beating on the way home, on the way here. So I'm gonna try to salvage as much as I can. Also do some cuttings, especially of this pineapple sage. This coleus, I'll probably do some cutting. You can see they took a beating because the aloe plant that's in the garage, and it took a beating. It got lemon verbena, so I'm gonna clean this up over time. But here's the other planter. I was just so excited to see some of my garden stuff. I think that's what really has got been my problem here over the last few days. But here's the other garden planter. Then I forgot about, I got planters right here. I had started doing the drip irrigation because I wanted to, in the old garden, I really did want to kind of change out and add more drip because we had soaker hoses. And in my opinion, y'all, I just wasn't happy with the soaker hoses in the old part of the garden. So I remember buying this drip. But what I'm going to do, because there's well water, a deep well water here on this property, I'm going to call someone out to run the well water to the raised bed garden. Just some garden stuff like my trellises. I'll just give y'all, Chris is so upset with me because he's like, you gotta get rid of some of this stuff. And he's right. I do need to get rid of I do need to get rid of a lot of this stuff. But let me take you up here because this is where, like, I really wanted to go ahead and put those 2 self-watering raised beds like on each side. But do y'all see? I'm talking to y'all while I'm at it. But it's a slope. And so I don't know if I want to, I'll have to figure that out because I was thinking on each side of the fence, maybe put those 2 planters. Y'all comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think with the self-watering pots. Just maybe put those on each side of here. But I would probably get one of those, what do you call it? Like the pavers, like the square pavers, to maybe make it flat and even, but maybe put that on one side. Let me tell you, G Mama Grows, I have lost so I've lost a lot of plants. I have. I've lost a lot of plants moving. And this time I understand what you're saying. I've lost some plants, but that's okay because the seeds are something that I didn't let them pack. I watched those seeds like a hawk. And so as a matter of fact, what I did, I had told Chris that I was gonna put hay racks around here probably next summer, and he looked at me like I was just like I had lost my mind. He did. What do y'all think? Okay, so I'm gonna get about maybe the 2 planters, the taller ones, right here and right here, just on this side. Tell me what y'all think. That rain barrel I got from Wayfair. It was like 100 and I want to say $29. It was one of the ones that Chris gave me the paper, but it had been like it was used for, it was kind of like a recycle upcycle type rain barrel, and it had been used to carry food grade items. And so I want to say Wayfair at the time, now think about it, it was last year or either earlier this year that I got it. I got it right before we moved. And I said, well, I'm not going to put it up. I'll just wait once we get the house sold. but it was around that. So I definitely want to get that rain barrel set up as well. I kept my seeds next to my purse so they wouldn't get packed. I bet. I'm okay. If I could go inside and show you, I was like, seeds, do not remove. That stays with me. Even in the apartment, I had my seeds because, like I told Chris, I want to control surf and control environment. I don't want them getting too hot. So I actually was pulling out some seeds I'm about to start because we're in 8A, zone 8A now. Believe it or not, it's time to start thinking about fall seeds. So that's why I wanted to at least get about 2 to 4 raised beds built, someone out here to run the irrigation just so I could stay sane, y'all, and get me some fall seeds. I got so many collard seeds. I was thinking about collards, pansies. Um, let's see, what else do I plant? I normally start my onion seeds around the end of August, and we did get my grow rack in. I saw that come in today. That's in the workshop, that straight back. And I pulled some seeds. I pulled some herb seeds out because I figured I can go ahead and get my thyme and oregano pulled out really, I mean, started really quick and get those in the ground in fall for good, root growth. A lot of things I start in the fall so they can go ahead and start getting good root growth. And then, like come next spring, it'll be good. And then I'm going to start my fall flowers and my fall vegetables. So that's what I wanted to do. But I just had to share this with y'all. I'm so excited. I'm like, finally, I think I will be at peace just being able to do stuff because today, I went to the big box stores and I got to stop. I told myself, you got to have a garden plan. Stop picking up these clearance plants, which is what I did. But I picked up some clearance perennials, which I love. And if you're not subscribed, again, hit the subscribe button because I just ordered like a solar fountain to go in this area right here. And let me show you what I'm going to put around the solar fountain. I'm not going to block it, but the solar fountain, I think, is around 4 feet. I really wanted to just kill all of this grass right here and just plant nothing but perennials and different items. But sometimes when we come in, we use this to turn around or to park correctly. So I have been measuring. I know this space, we don't use it. More of we'll pull up and like back out. So I have a fountain coming. It's a solar fountain. And I'll tell y'all about that too. I looked at all the different reviews about the solar fountain. Now it's not going to be on all day long, but I just to get something up, y'all. I'm telling you, I just need I just need to be gardening right now. So just to get something up, I figured the solar, we don't have to run all of those wires and find all those outlets and dig those trenches right now. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get another fountain later on, but let me show you what I'm going to put by the solar fountain. Is these are also clearance plants that I picked up. But these phlox, when I tell you about these phlox, they're really pretty. I think they're called Coral Flame. It was supposed to rain, which is why I didn't water them. But I'm going to the fountain is black, so I'm going to just kind of like flank these over here because so many pollinators. I've seen so many butterflies, so many bees, and they're perennial. So I'm going to clean them up real good and put them around the fountain, and then I'll just figure out what I'm going to do next. Are you doing underground irrigation? Okay, yeah. So let me show you this. This this right here, that it's a deep water well. So we are okay. This is what the old owners told us years ago when they first bought the house. They were on deep water well water only. But then the city came and said, well, you got to choose. You either do city water or you do deep water well. So they said that they went with city water. And then years later, they said, oh, well, you can have both. So this particular sprocket, is the deep water well. This is what I've been watering my plants with, and my dad loves it, y'all. Like he said he's gonna come over because he was raised on like well water, and he was so excited because it comes out once it goes through. It comes out so cool. It's like 55 degrees, and then he said it's so much softer. And well water, he was just raised up on well water. And if you can see, let me walk a little bit closer now, y'all. I'm in my slides, and I normally don't play these games about walking in this grass like this. But if you can see that little kind of look like a small chimney, that is where the well water is. So that's what I was going to have someone come in and do, because it's already ran. If they could just probably trench it off and put it to the raised beds, that's what I want to have them do with the well water. So we'll be on well water for the garden. Now in the front, I'm not sure how we'll work that as far as irrigation, because I definitely want to pull like all of the shrubs out the front. But if you could see that little, that's the well water right there, and it's a well pump in the basement. And let me tell y'all about this pear tree while I'm back here. It's a lot of mosquitoes back here too. I can see them. One day when my sister-in-law was up here, she said, "Oh, y'all got a pear tree. Let me see the pears." Honey, we came back here to look at these pears, and it was like a squirrel. All he did was like drop the remainder of the pears, which wasn't enough. But there is the guy, the previous owner said, you'll be good if you get probably about 6 to 10 pears off of there. Like you can see them, but that was the first time I saw the squirrel. So that's something I'm gonna have to, and that's a pear tree too, but I don't see it bearing pears. I told Chris he wanted to cut these pine trees down, but I wanted to make some pine salve. And it's a lot you can do with the pine trees. When my dad was over here, he was showing me, y'all, I'm not a doctor, I'm telling you what he was showing me, how to get like let me walk over here, like the rising off the bark. He said my great grandmother used to use that for arthritis. Like she would somehow, like he somehow came over here and took some of this off, and it was like looked like a piece of rising. But I think this is where they get turpentine from too. But I definitely wanted to use some of this pine to make like a pine salve, pine cleaner, because there are a lot of medicinal things when it comes to the pine tree. So I told them, let's just keep this up for now. A lot of people don't like pine trees just because they're shallow rooted, and when that wind bursts down. But so that is what we are dealing. That's what we're dealing with that. And again, the peach tree, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna cut it down yet. But like I tell people, most peach trees you have to have 2 or more different varieties of a peach tree for them to bear fruit. And I've been seeing all over Georgia people's properties flooded with peach trees, but this one doesn't have any. Now it could be that maybe that late freeze kind of mess with this one, but I'm not sure. So I'll just leave it up for now, because like I said, like I told Chris, if we can get about 4 raised beds built, then I'll deal with the rest over the winter and spring. But y'all, I gotta grow something. I gotta grow I gotta grow something. I'm like, we gotta get something started. I'm looking for, now that I'm talking to y'all, I'm looking for the black like tarp to lay down and go ahead and get rid of the grass. That's what I'm really on the lookout for. But like I said, we got one more shipment coming in on Thursday, and then I've been just trying to make a goal to do so many boxes per day, because I'm not one to just be unpacking for months and months upon months. So we're gonna look. I just have a goal in mind. Like I told Chris tonight, before I go to bed, I'm gonna get done with those boxes, and then tomorrow, I just write down a goal of what I want. I don't want to overwork myself and tire myself out, but I do want to get everything unpacked so I can see what else I need to get rid of, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, I just wanted to come on live. I appreciate y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all just impromptu. Sometimes I do that. Y'all just bear with me. How long have you been on the property? We closed July 7th. We closed July 7th, but the owners still were, we gave them like 7 days to get all of their things because they were older. And so we gave them 7 days to get all of their things off of the property. Not only were they older, but they told us that they had put the house up for sale a couple years ago. They moved all of their things out and the deal fell through. So that's why they put that in the stipulation, like they were not going to move out until everything was like finalized, which I totally understood. That would have me going crazy too. Just imagine if you move all your stuff out, then the deal doesn't go through, and then you got to move all your stuff back in. So we've been in the home now, like actually spending the night permanently for about a week, a week, maybe 2 weeks. Oh, about a week, because my daughter just went back to college. She stayed with us for 2 weeks, and 1 week she was there with us in the apartment, and the other week she was there, she was here. So we've been in here like actually spending the night for a week. Like I would be trying to bring things from the apartment over, but yeah, we actually, yeah, about a week. And I do appreciate y'all. I'm excited, but I'm nervous at the same time because there's so much I want to do, but I got to give myself grace. Cause like I said, all of this is gonna end up coming up. Like all of these shrubs gonna end up coming up, and Chris is like, what? What? I know. I say, yep. I'm gonna find somebody to pull them and pull them from the roots. So all of this is coming up. All of this is coming up. And a lot of things are coming up. I'm gonna just tell y'all that now. This was a pear tree too, but I don't think it bears. So that might come down. That might come down. All of this is coming up. Like it's going to be like a total change. But like I said, I'm giving myself grace. I want to get my raised beds. I want to get my garden started first. So all of this can stay up until I start getting the garden pretty much completed, and then we'll start working on the front yard. Because like I said, it's pretty much a blank slate. Like you could do whatever, but I may have someone to come in just with some ideas, just with a few ideas, and to give me options of what I'm trying to do. Because let me tell you, I see, are you going to replace it with perennial fruit trees or perennial fruit? We're definitely going to put a lot of fruit trees on here. And let me just show you real quick. This was a cherry tree because my dad said, yeah, this is a cherry tree. I don't think it bear fruit or anything. I remember my grandmother having one, but it was more for like decorative purposes. It was so pretty, but yeah, it's a crab apple tree here. But I will be definitely putting like a food forest. We're talking blueberries, peaches, apples. So I'm not sure if that's gonna go like back in the back where I just showed y'all or along the fence line. But you better believe we're gonna have some fruit trees around here that are gonna get planted. I've already did my compass with the north, south, east, west. So we did that because this is going to be an east facing garden. And I'm telling y'all, I got some videos coming out that I'm currently editing, but the realtor thought I was crazy because I said I either need a south facing backyard or a west facing backyard. So this is, it's west. Yeah, it's a west facing backyard. But along the fence area back here, it's going to be some fruit. It's going to be some fruit, and it may be some along that back behind the fence, but we're definitely going to have some fruit trees going on here. Actually, these right here were what we brought along with us too. They haven't started bearing any fruit, but these are actually pomegranate trees right here. So, but I know I want peaches. I know I want blueberries, blackberries, apples, whatever I can get, because this is just shy under 3 acres. I think it's like 2.83 acres. And I'm going to try to utilize as much as I can. Now, this might have to be like a shade area back here. This is also part of it, but I'll tell y'all, it definitely doesn't get a lot of sun at all. But we'll figure out what to do, because speaking of that, right behind, let me walk over here. I already told Chris, right behind his workshop is where my chicken coop is going to go, kind of like in a shaded area. And I'm being careful, y'all, because I don't know the land yet. Like in the Savannah area, I knew the land, so I went, but chicken coop somewhere between here. You can, I looked up the regulations. You can have, they say you can have four. That's what they say. But yeah, we're going to have, let me see what's over here while I'm talking stuff. Okay. So you got to watch and you got to look. You got to watch and you got to look. But yeah, definitely chicken coop in the work. Beehives in the work, because y'all know that I had 2 beehives to come and set up, and I talked to the beekeeper Scott, and we were actually supposed to be setting up my beehive in Savannah, and I had to call him and tell him that we're moving. But he said it's so many good people in the greater Atlanta area. They'll get me set up. He gave me some references. They'll get me set up in no time. So I'm thinking, back behind the fence, that we'll have, some beehives too, because the more I keep looking and the more I keep seeing, I keep telling Chris, yeah, we gotta get some stuff growing, and we gotta get some stuff growing quick, because it's crazy, y'all. It is crazy. Yeah, 3 acres. I think that's enough. I would have took more, but I think Chris and I can handle that. He's not too keen about cutting grass all the time, but I told him, with the backyard, before you know it, you won't even have to worry about it. It won't even be any grass for you to cut, because I plan on putting a greenhouse back in the corner, putting a greenhouse back there, my chicken coop. So he's not going to have a whole lot to do with the back. Now, the front may take, I always try to have like a 2 to 5 year plan on what I want to do, because that's why I said I had to give myself some grace, because we were in that house for 13 years, and it took me 13 years to build it like that, to build the garden out, to build all of that stuff out. So I don't, and then I don't want to rush it. Now, the front yard, yeah, he's going to have to cut for now, until I can add some, different trees and perennials and shrubs and things of that nature. But the backyard, he probably won't have to worry about. Not right. Not in the near future. Yeah, these coming up too, y'all. Just want you to know that. All that's coming that's coming up. I want something pretty. I want something with color. So this is probably up. I'm gonna just tell y'all right now. We'll get some native plants in here. Now, I have been given instructions. Don't put too many plants that draw the bees while we're sitting on the porch, which I can understand. So that's fine. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is going to come up. But little by little, we'll get it done. I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me impromptu, just like all of a sudden. But I wanted to share this with y'all, and I just wanted you to see that I'm excited. I'm like, oh, I can start planting again, because I'm going to tell y'all this, and then I'm finna get off. When people say gardening is therapy, I found that out firsthand this time. I really found that out. Like, I was doing the patio gardening, and that was good, but it's the patio was only so big. Like, I'm like, yeah, gardening, that's definitely a form of therapy for me. That really is. And just when I see butterflies, when I see bees, when I see all of these pollinators coming to visit the plants, I'm like, this is why I do it. Because I had to actually tell, who was it? My sister. She was talking about the bees, and I was like, look at the bee movie, because about 70 to 80% of our food is because of pollinators. If we didn't have them, now I know they're, you know, breeding different things now to where, you know, you don't have to have a pollinator, but I'm telling you, the pollinators is really, to me, the reason why we eat. Yes, grow G GT Junior grows in Alaska. I That was one of my stipulations. I had some, and I'm gonna read the comment. They say brick home. Our other home was all brick, and it's everybody's choices. But like I told the realtor, who was great. If y'all ever are moving like to the Atlanta area, let me know. We had the most amazing realtor. Um, but that was one of the stipulations is if you could please find it all brick, and if you could find me a south facing garden or a west facing garden. That first realtor that we had, she looked at me like, "What is you crazy?" And I was like, "I am a gardener, and this is certain things I look for in a home." And just out of just sure, you know, our old home in Savannah, that was, I'm going to turn the camera right back around so y'all don't think I'm not talking to you. The old home, the old home in Savannah, everything just fell into place because that was a south facing garden. And all of that just happened to fall into place. But I just feel like I had a few things, because that's what I was saying on one of the videos. We found a lot of properties, and Chris did want a newer home. This home, I think, was built in 96. He wanted a newer home, but some of the newer homes, when you walked in, it just was not built solid to me. It wasn't built solid, and it was just a few things you could see how, you know, like one lady said they're building homes in like 30 days. So the two things I said at least 1 acre, because we're coming from 0.75 acre and I did want to get bigger. I said at least 1 acre. 10 would be great, but three was good. You know, three was good. And this is no lie, y'all. And then I'm finna get off for real. I'm finna get off for real. This house, it just came up one day. I want to say on my email, and I'm not one to like really delete a whole lot of emails. I can't find it. I cannot find that email again. So that's why I say it had to be God to just like put it in there and say this is for you, because that's what I told Chris. I said the house that's going to be for us is going to speak. It's going to say this is your house. And again, subscribe. I still got to tell y'all some things. Still got to tell y'all some things too. But the AC did go out Sunday, y'all. I was like, we're not gonna do this. We're not reliving this all over again, because when we first bought our home in Savannah, the Savannah area, we had a slab leak the very day we closed on the home. This time the AC went out. Oh boy. And it always does that in the heat of the month. But so happened we brought our portable AC unit. I'm telling you, GT Junior grows it in Alaska. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing like your title right, but it was. It had. I tell Chris it had to be God. Like it's like I cannot find this listing again, but it's something. It just popped up on my email. Chris didn't even find it. He was staying up all times of night looking, and we were just looking. I was like, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. I have the text where I told him, look at this address, but the email don't know where it is. I don't know where, and I'm telling y'all, when I say I'm not one to delete, I'm not one to delete a whole lot of emails. Not only that, I remember calling our realtor and I was like, can we see this Saturday? And let me tell y'all this story. So this, like I said, the people were older and they was going to move closer to their son. When I tell you our appointment was at 10 o'clock, it was so many cars. Like they were coming 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. It was so many people looking at this house. And believe it or not, we put an offer in on it. Our realtor called us and she said, you got outbid. Somebody else got it. And so Chris was so upset. He was like, we're going to have to start over all again. And I said, well, Chris, hey, what's for us, that's for us. It's not the house for us. She called like 3 days later. I remember I was off that day. She called 3 days later. She said the people that put the offer in, their kids told them this is too far out. And she said if you still want the house, you can put an offer in on it. And so I was like, okay. And so from then, that's how it all started happening. But it's a lot of things have been happening really quick. But I'm excited to like really share with y'all just the process, because I just want to make this the most beautiful and inviting property ever. And it is my goal that hopefully in a few years that I can have, some of my supporters, some of y'all who support, like if you want to come out to Georgia, just have like a gathering here in the garden. Maybe it might be a class, maybe it just might be, to take a tour or something like that. Like that is my goal. My ultimate goal is, and I've always said this, people say, why are you gardening? I love it, but I also am big on the elderly. My grandmother, she lived till she was 99, and one thing you were not going to be around her was hungry. I don't care if it was her last. You going to get fed. And so one of my goals too is to be able to grow enough food to assist the elderly. In Savannah, I used to go to what was called the Manor House, garden items of garden food that I just have an abundance of. I would drop it off at the Manor House. But I do want to just help the elderly because, like I tell my mom, it's really sad, and we're not going to get into it. You've worked all your life, and then the Social Security is not enough to cover the expenses, and the expenses keep going up, and the food keeps going up, and people cannot afford it. So I don't care if I can only help one, two, five. I want to be able to do that. Just really help the elderly. Just have good food. You know what I mean? Just good food. And if that means dropping a bunch of greens off, or dropping off some tomatoes or something like that, let me do what I can. um Love that you are, yes, 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 love that you are sharing your experience with me. Yeah, it's a good I mean, this is it's different. I'll just tell you, it was just a learning lesson. I listened to a lot of motivational things like that, and so like I told people, Chris and I, we were on a routine. We were complacent. We were good. We were just, doing our thing. This kind of shook us up. It kind of woke us up. You know how they say, wake the soul up. Oh, our soul got woke up for sure, for sure. So, but I always, people look at me like I'm crazy. I always look for things that may help other people because seriously, y'all, I know I just said the AC went out. Sunday. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, Lord, those movers are about to come here and they gonna be hot. Like, we had the portable AC in my bedroom, and I'm like, we can stay in the bedroom. I said, but it's already one of the hottest months of the year. They coming in to move our stuff, and they gonna be hot. I said, Chris, they gonna be hot. We got to get this fixed. I said, we got to call somebody. And he he was looking at me like, of all the things you talk about the move. I said, Chris, that is gonna be hot. I said, now we got some water for them. I said, but they're gonna be hot, but it all worked out. I'm so thankful that the guy, he actually came out the very same day, because that's why I said Chris he's not a HVAC certified, but the very part that he said went out, because he went, did all his checks, the very part that he said went out, that was the part. So the guy came out and he fixed it. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just ordered some figs cuttings. I'm all about growing our own food. Yes, we need more control. Yeah, absolutely. We need more. I got to read this out loud. We need more control of the food we consume. Let me tell you something real quick. GT Junior grows in Alaska. I took fig cuttings. It was the figs cuttings was growing so good. I was like, yeah, when I get to the new place, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and plant them up. All of a sudden, now they checked out. And I don't know why they checked out. I don't. But figs are really easy to propagate. I had propagated some other plants too, but the figs were doing so good. And I was like, yeah, just keep holding on. And then they checked out, but that's okay. Popeyes or KFC, neither one for me. Neither one of me. I was just telling Chris, I've been really doing so good because I try. When I tell y'all, I try my best not to eat out a lot because sometimes when I eat out, because I have to, like I'm not home or something like that, I get so disappointed. I get so disappointed because I'm like, you just paid all this money and it's not good. It's not good at all. So I try my best to cook. Like yesterday when I got up, I was trying to like cook something for a couple. But I love to cook, so I'll just say that I absolutely love to cook. I don't mind cooking, but I try to cook things that'll last for like 2 or 3 days, so that we don't have to continue to like eat out like that. But that's just me. That is just that's just me. I did cuttings for the first time this year of most of my fruit trees and non-fruiting. The weeping willows were the ones that survived. That's nice. Yeah, once you start, and that's what I tell a lot of people. Like, back in the day when my grandmother had her garden, all of this stuff is starting to come together, y'all. It's starting to come together and it's starting to click. You know how when you start telling people about things and they just don't get it? Like, I see how she used to share. That's why I told people, like, she would wait till the right time. And now I can remember, it used to be the fall. If somebody said they liked something or they wanted something, she would propagate it and she would wait and then give it to you at the right time. Same thing with cuttings. I have really, over the last year, really been getting into cuttings. Um, just depending on what it is. So I've been doing cuttings of, like you said, the fig trees. I've been doing cuttings of things like, salvia, stuff like that. Some of them do good with water propagation. Some of them do good when I put the rooting hormone on there. And then some of them do good. It just depends. So like the fig cuttings I took cuttings, and then I put the rooting hormone in there and I put it in some water. We don't really need, sometimes they say put the humidity dome. It's humid here. Believe me when I tell you, it's humid enough. And like I said, they were doing so good and then they just checked out on me. But I've been propagating. I've also started propagating rosemary. I've had a good experience with water propagation with that. But that was one thing I said that I was going to do more research and become more well versed so that I could share different things with people, and you didn't have to buy it. Sometimes it could be so easy. Sometimes we make things so difficult. And I was talking to my cousin Val. Sometimes we can make things so difficult, or me at least, or overthink it. But when you think about like our grandparents, it was just simple to them. Like everything was just simple, just really simple. I did some in water and in sand. Yes. And like you, I just try to test and see what works and what doesn't work. Some things don't work. I was propagating some hydrangea, propagated some of that. So yeah, you just see what works, what doesn't work, but I just love doing it to just like to be able to share. So y'all, I am going to get off of here because I feel little raindrops coming down on me, but I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Again, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button because after Thursday, we finna start planting some stuff for sure. I just gotta find some of my seed starting items to at least get the herbs. I want to get the herbs started, and I also want to get some of the vegetables started. I'll get the fall flower started last, but my priority is the herbs and the vegetables. At least get some greens growing. At least get some. We're gonna get some good stuff growing. At least get my onions started because I started onions from seed. Um, yeah, we're gonna get some good stuff started. So y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure I keep y'all posted. Thank you for hanging out with me. Wait, 1 second. 1 second, wait. Away figs, did you try? Away figs, did you try to? What figs? They were, okay, let me see. I don't know the name. I remember ordering them offline. They were like a Neroli. It was like a black, almost like a black fig that I ordered offline. And so in Savannah, I grew them in pots. They did good. Each year, I would start to get more and more figs as long as I could keep the, as long as I could keep the birds away from them. but they were good. They were good, but they were almost, when they were ripe, they were almost like a black color. They were so pretty. And I wasn't a big fig fan until we stayed in Italy, and I actually went to some tour on a like a wine farm or something. So they had like fig, and I was like, because when I think about figs, I think about fig Newton, and I didn't like fig Newtons growing up. So yeah. So anyway, the figs, I was like, oh, these are pretty good. So I wanted to grow some figs. Now I'm gonna answer your question when you say muscadines. I'm not a muscadine lover, y'all. My grandmother had so many of those muscadines and scubadines. But let me tell you, and I gotta go meet our next door neighbor. We met the guy first, and his wife. He said, my wife is waiting to meet y'all, but I'm gonna turn the camera around because he said we get so many muscadines and scubadines. I'm gonna zoom in. He said when they're ready, y'all don't even have to ask, just come over. Friend Shirley, y'all gotta go. Oh gosh, she's gonna kill me if I don't. Oh God, if I don't get the name right. They're on YouTube. In the Face while hunting. They do a lot of hunting. But she got chicken. She's the ones that encourage me because she brings me some of the eggs to work. Even my daughter said these eggs taste so different than the grocery store. But I'm gonna turn the camera around. Y'all, the muscadine. Here, let me try to zoom in. So they have muscadine because they said and get them. So do y'all see across the street there? He said both of them, and he said don't even ask, just come and get them. Just come and get them. And my grandparents and my uncle, like they used to make scubadine and muscadine wine. That's why I say stuff is so simple because I was asking my uncle. He was like, "Yep, I get them. I put them in the bottle, and I do this, and I put it in the closet." And we're from Columbus, Georgia. So if you know about Tuskegee Morehouse, and he was like, right when the game Tuskegee Morehouse come, that's when I pull it out and I see if it's ready. Just easy, simple stuff. But I try to make stuff so difficult. My dad loved fig Newtons. Yeah, that was like every time I think about figs, I was like, oh, I didn't like fig Newtons, but I'm definitely gonna get some of that. But yeah, they were like, just come, and I guess they have horses in the back as well because they say their daughter was like the third in the southeast, so they race horses. But they were just so friendly, y'all. They were so, because he said his wife gardens and they had like some soil. He was like, I'm telling you, whatever y'all need, just let me know. But all of are you from Columbus, Georgia? Really? That's where I'm from. Born and raised. Went to Columbus High. My parents and Chris' parents, they're still there. We stayed off Steam Mill Road. That's where we stayed at. So, and then my grandparents, where we spent bulk of the time, they stayed right by Pacelli. Um, you'll know, I mean, if you're from Columbus, you'll know where that is. So they stayed by Pacelli, and that's where we grew up. I tell you, it's a small world, y'all. It is a small world. You went to okay. So do you know Chris? Do you do you know what year? Because my husband went to Marshall. I went to Richards. He went to Marshall, and we both went to Columbus High, and I went to Edgewood Elementary. What is your name? Do you know? Tell me if you know Chris McBride. Tell me if you know him. Yeah, I know exactly where you are because my uncle stayed on. Okay, well, we're not that old, y'all, but we're a little bit. Okay, so you may not know him. You may not know him. A few years older. I'm gonna just say a few years older. That's crazy, but yeah, my uncle stayed on Little Man. Okay, I had to ask him because Chris stayed in Adair Apartments. Adair Apartments. My uncle stayed on South Andrews Circle. And we were over there. We stayed with him for a while. So yeah, it's a small world. It is a small world. But yeah, Chris stayed in Adair. My grandparents stayed by Pacelli. We stayed off Steamer Road. But yeah, that's crazy. That is amazing. That's amazing. I'm telling y'all, it's a smaller world than you think. It really is. I had to ask them. That's awesome. I love seeing that because I will tell you, I don't know when the last time you went to Columbus. Columbus has really, really changed. Columbus has changed a lot. They built up so much, but then Y'all, my mom calls me every day and just tell me about Columbus. I told her to stop watching the news. Just stop watching. Just stop watching the news. Don't tell me nothing else about what she saw on the news. That's what I say. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm with you, but okay. Well, they said, yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah, they do. It's really changed a lot since, when people say, "Oh, you're from Columbus." I was like, "Yeah, the old Columbus, it wasn't like that." But they really have built up on the north side for sure. Um, that's what they said too. Yep. That's what I didn't want to say it. Look, I'm gonna just leave it in the comments. That's what they say too. And then I have a coworker that sent me a meme with Columbus, and I'm just like, this is crazy. It is. Columbus used to. It used to be like that. It really did, and it sometimes saddens me. It does. It does. So, but we just gonna hope that it gets better. Yeah, we just gotta hope it gets better. But y'all have been amazing. I appreciate y'all so much. Just make sure you're subscribed. I'm gonna keep y'all posted because, honey, when them people drop this stuff off Thursday, and I got like maybe four more boxes that I said I was gonna get done before. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that y'all joined us because I was gonna make a video. I said, you know what? I'm not finna make no video. I'm finna go live. That'll be the quickest way to get this information out. But they're gonna deliver the rest of the stuff Thursday, and then I still got some more things that I'm in my mind. I gotta go back to my videos because I took a video of everything before they moved it. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got a few more things, but I definitely want to get those planters planted. Definitely got to get the guy out here for the raised beds. And we just going to create a canvas, y'all. Y'all have been amazing. And I hope you have an amazing night. And we'll talk again soon.